What's going on, everyone? It's Brody Taylor here, back again to answer probably one of the most common questions that typically gets asked of players who are just beginning tennis or they've been playing for a while and they're looking up into a new racket. And that is, does a more expensive tennis racket actually make a difference? And the answer for anyone who's played tennis for long enough and or has just played the sport for a while, you already know the answer, but it's yes. And I'll explain why. So the reason why a better tennis racket makes so much of a difference is because once you start getting up into the higher price points of rackets, that's when you can really start to customize your racket to your specific style of play. In the beginning, you really don't necessarily need to worry about buying the over $200 racket because you're just starting out, you don't know if you like the sport, and you really aren't aware of how you prefer to play it or what you can do naturally. So that's why you can usually get a racket from almost anywhere that'll work just fine for you. Now, I don't typically want to see you in a racket that is like $40 or below because those are just bad. Like, they break real easily. They don't do anything good. They're not a good way to get into tennis. Like, they're there, but if you're a full-grown adult or a very high-level junior, you shouldn't be playing with those because they're just not going to help you at all. You can usually get a good and decent racket that's usually maybe a generation or two old of the newer models that are out currently. Sometimes you can get lucky, get them around like between $80 to $100, $120. Those are great for getting into the sport, figuring out if you like it or not, see if you actually do it, because since you put your money towards it, you're actually going to go out and play because you made the investment into the sport. So you're at least going to give it a fair chance. Now, like I was saying, getting those rackets from the $80 to $120 range, then you get a good baseline for what you're able to do with the racket, how the racket plays. You just get a good feel for the sport. Now, as you continue to progress and you're like, okay, I can see what I'm doing with this racket. It's pretty good, but I want, say, more power, or I want more spin, or I want more control. That's where the better rackets that are upwards of past $180 or past $200 come in, because they are more specified to those specific sections. And that's where you do typically want to work with someone who knows the products that they're doing and that they're selling, because a lot of the different companies have multiple different rackets, multiple different lines. They all do different things, and it can get really confusing for someone who's never looked into this before. But if you work with someone like myself or someone who has been working in that company, or just kind of like a broker of tennis rackets, they work with the rackets, they know what they're doing, they actually know what they're talking about, and they have just the track record to back it up, then you're really going to be in good hands. But like I was saying, each brand has typically a power racket, a spin racket, and a control racket. Those are usually the main three you're going to see. So you can then just look at those three options and be like, okay, if I want more power from my racket that I've been playing with, that I started with, then I need to go here to the power line. Okay, got it. If I want more spin, go to the spin frames. If I want more control, go to the control frames. Easy peasy, done. Now, I will say, anytime you're looking to switch to a new racket, especially of those higher end ones, you always want to see if wherever you're getting your rackets from has a demo program, so that you can actually try the rackets out to make sure that this is something you actually want, this is something that's going to help you, and this is not something that's going to hurt you. Because if you get a different racket and it's not necessarily good for you, meaning that there's a lot more vibration in it than what you're used to, you can get tennis elbow. That's not fun, because no one likes tennis elbow, because we can't play the sport then. It's not fun. Granted, luckily I've never had it myself, but I don't ever, there's a reason why. I never want to deal with it because it's just terrible. regardless, went off a little tangent there. If with your racket, the better ones have more options. That's the main reason, as well as they usually have better materials in them, so that not all of them will cause tennis elbow, as well as they just last longer. Tennis rackets actually do have a shelf lifespan and just a playing lifespan, because back when I was talking more and more with my boss at the store I was working with, he would tell me all the time about he'd play for a racket for say 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden because it's gradual, he played for 2 or 3 years, and he was playing at least like 3 times a week for an hour and a half, 2 hours each time. His rackets would start to feel and play differently. Now you could say that the strings were dead or everything, but no, this man knows. He's like, I know when to restring my racket, I know what I can get out of it. But the inside of the racket, because he played so much and he played so hard with a lot of topspin, a lot of power, it had started to break down on him. And this was in some of the higher end rackets. So if that's the shelf life for that racket, the lower end ones, even less. And that's not something you want to go through, because then you're constantly buying rackets. It's spending way too much money, and then you're not actually enjoying and playing the sport that we all love dearly to our hearts. So that's why you can really look forward to getting into those bigger and better rackets, because they not only last longer, they're going to help you more with your specific style, and you can demo them. So you can even try them out before. The other cool thing about demo programs is that most of the time, wherever you're gonna look to demo, if you do demo, whatever money you spent on the demos comes back to you, meaning that they take it off the price of the racket. So you just get to try it, and if you like it, no big deal. Sometimes your demo credits that you use will stay on your account that you make with the company, and then you can just keep building that up, trying rackets, seeing which one you like, and go from there. So that's what I always suggest doing with whoever asks me what racket they should move up to. I'm like, I talk with you for a bit, get to know how you play, what you like about your racket, what you don't like, and then I'm like, all right, go ahead, demo these first, and then come back to me, and we'll see we'll go from there. Other than that, those are really the main reasons why you would want to look into getting a better racket, because it does actually make a difference. Some people will tell you it doesn't, just play with whatever you have. And I agree with them. You do want to play with whatever you have, as long as it's working for you. At the same time though, it never hurts to actually try and see what else is out there, because you're not necessarily going to love everything about your racket. Full disclosure, you probably won't. But if you like enough of it, keep it. If there's something that you're really wanting and you're really looking for, go ahead and demo a few. Doesn't hurt. It's not like you're committing to buying a new racket. You're just trying out and seeing what's there, and if you find something that works better for you, more power to you when you buy it. If you do, you don't have to. But like I said, that's essentially why you will want to eventually move into a better racket. If you have any more questions about rackets or any tennis equipment, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to my channel so that I can help you out along your tennis journey, as well as anyone that you may think is wanting to get into tennis or that's been in tennis and you just want to make sure that they know what's going on. Let them share this video with them, and so that I can help them eliminate some of the misinformation that gets out out from the tennis community, because a lot of people don't know what they're actually talking about with this stuff. So I took it upon myself to make this channel to make sure that all the right information is getting out to all the people who actually need it. All right, everyone. Like I said, like the video, leave a comment if you have any more questions or any more concerns. Subscribe to the channel so you can follow me for more. And as always, take care.